Really weird stuff. That's very weird.
Really Weird Stuff is a holistic Twin Peaks podcast. That means we discuss each episode within the context of the series as a whole. In other words, spoilers abound. Welcome to Really Weird Stuff, episode 37, where we will discuss Twin Peaks: The Return, Part 6, Don't Die. This episode originally aired June 17th, 2017. It was written by David Lynch and Mark Frost and directed by David Lynch. I'm Jessica Baxter.
I'm Amy Green.
And you might remember him from such episodes as Double Play, Slaves and Masters, Masked Ball, Drive with the Dead Girl, A Dispute Between Brothers, Zen and the Skill to Catch a Killer,
Wow,
and many more. Making his The Return debut is my husband and Smarty Pants, Chris Brugos.
Wow, what an introduction.
What
an intro.
Wow.
I'm so excited to talk about The Return.
We're so excited to have you. We did already hear your initial Twin Peaks history, but why don't you tell us, if you can recall, your initial experience watching The Return back in 2017. I know you watched it with me.
Yeah, I watched it with you. I often fell asleep watching it because I loved it so much and it was so good. And I always fall asleep during things that are good.
It's the highest compliment for me.
Wow.
Exactly. I remember it being very aggressively anti-fan service. And that's just me saying how it was a very frustrating watch for me sometimes. And I'm sure we'll get into that because this episode has a lot of examples of what is so frustrating about the show when you're coming at it as a fan. You know, having expectations, which is on me, you know? I know enough to know that David Lynch is making what David Lynch wants to make. And if I had expectations aren't being met, that's my problem.
Yes, I think so. It's a very healthy outlook. Yeah, there are 8 minutes of looking at files in this episode, so you're not wrong. I timed it.
Wow.
And a lot happens, really,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
even with, like, long shots that are unnecessary from my point of view. If I'm studio producer guy giving notes, I'm like, David, we can't have this. Like,
Yeah. That is why he got full cut on this. He was
Right.
like, I'm not going to be listening to people like that to tell me to cut things.
clearly, no
way.
one
Yeah,
gave him
nobody-
any notes on this.
Yeah. I mean, he was on this NPR show.
I'm Rachel Martin, and this is Wild Card, the game where cards control the conversation.
He hardly ever did interviews, but he did this. And one of the questions is,
What failure have you learned the most from?
and he said, always get final cut.
My film Dune, which I knew already one should have final cut before signing on to do a film. But for some reason, I thought everything would be okay, and I didn't put final cut in my contract. And as it turned out, Dune wasn't the film I wanted to make because I didn't have
Wow.
a final say. Why would anyone make a film, work for 3 years on something that wasn't yours? Why? Why do that? Why? I died the death, and it was all my fault for not knowing to put that in the contract.
So what did you learn from that?
Always have final cut.
Just
That's my lesson. Always.
It just changed everything for him, learning that. And it was a hard lesson to learn because he was still upset about it.
Yeah, which I've told you many times. I think Dune is really good. I love
love
that
it too.
movie. I love watching it. I find
Yeah.
it really watchable and really
Yeah.
entertaining. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people think it's too slow or weird. It's a good blend for me of, it's Lynchy,
Yeah.
but it's still a movie that does the book justice and has action and a plot you can follow.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that many directors of that era doing a better job than he did. It was a kind of a tall order anyway.
Right.
Obviously, Denis Villeneuve really figured it out, but that was many years later.
My hot take is I think David Lynch's is just as good as the Villeneuve.
I think so too.
I mean,
I agree
the special
with your hot
effects
take.
aren't as good, and the acting's not as good, but I think the direction
I
is.
think the acting is as good, honestly.
Agree to disagree.
I don't know.
When I'm on the pod, there will be
good.
tangents.
Well, so this episode, a surprisingly funny episode considering the most horrific thing ever
Yeah.
happens, like, right in the middle. It occurred to me that the explosion fake out from the last episode was perhaps to get us to think, oh, nothing bad will happen to a child in this show, right? Like, it's so scary when that little boy reaches for the bomb under the car, but then he's okay. Even though he watches a lot of people die, he's unharmed. And so it just feels like, okay, maybe at the last second, this won't happen. And then we do not get such mercy. But we'll get into all of that. Let's start off with some soft jazz. We get a hero shot of that cowboy statue from the last episode, aka Donald Lynch. Coop is exactly where we left him in part 5, standing next to the statue, hugging the case files. Brugos, why don't you talk about what he's doing with his arm? We're driving you crazy.
He is struggling with his coat. He's got his hand stuck in his sleeve. He can't get it out. And it drives me insane. I didn't even know this about myself, but I really hate watching people struggle to get their coat on, I guess. It drove me nuts watching him do it. So yeah, last season, it was all about the donuts.
Why did they
Now
put
I've
it
found a
on
new pet peeve, which
Sleeve
is
crimes.
sleep. Exactly.
I don't know if there's that many sleeve crimes.
Yeah, I don't know if this will-
And as a parent, I just, I always helping the kids do everything and having to make myself let them figure things out and just watch them struggle sometimes. I don't know. It gave me anxiety with that. I don't know why. It just seemed very uncomfortable what he was doing with that coat. I would hate to have my hand trapped in a coat sleeve like that.
It is very frustrating if you put on something that when the sleeve is inside out and you think you can just punch it through and then you're like, no, it didn't work. But he had the coat on already, so I don't really
he was
understand
almost
how this
there.
happened.
Yeah, how did his
Yeah, I
hand
mean,
get stuck?
he's pulling it with one hand, and the other hand is like, it doesn't make any sense what's happening with Dougie, which I think is just true.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense what is being done with Dougie in this show.
Yeah.
And it's on purpose. It's to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't make sense that his arm would be stuck like that, especially because we know that it's like 3 sizes too big, basically. Also, it should
Right, yeah. He lost like 30 pounds in a day. somehow.
Right. With amnesia people and shows, it's always sort of strange what they remember and don't remember.
Yeah.
It's really odd that he doesn't remember how to get his hand through a coat.
He doesn't remember how to pee.
He can't remember how to pee.
Right,
Yeah, that's a little
like-
weird.
There's just a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
But I did notice it was his left arm, which, I'm always on the watch for stuff wrong with your left arm on account of the dead left arm trope. Well, I don't know if it's a trope. It's the theme, I guess, for Lynch, right? Teresa Banks' arm went numb 3 days before she died. Laura, she kind of cradles her left arm after she wakes up from the dream in the picture. And the one-armed man's missing arm is the left arm. And in that episode where everybody's hand starts shaking, it's always their left hand. Like, there's something going on with your left arm hand situation. I don't know. Maybe there's some Buddhist thing about it. I don't know. I'll look it up.
But you're not a Buddhist.
Are we ever going to be able to say Buddhist normally ever again? Editor's note. From the Wisdom Library, in Hinduism, the left arm is involved in specific rituals and indicates omens and embodies the dual nature of existence. Rama is a major deity in Hinduism as an avatar of Vishnu, the protector of the universe. In the Purana Hindu scripture, Rama's left arm twitching signals foreboding events. But anyway, he's doing that. We got Officer Ronaldo who comes up and he says, I was here half an hour ago. But then he quickly starts to catch on that this guy needs help. He's not just like a move along kind of situation.
Where do you live, Mr. Jones? Home. And where's home?
I feel like this is the most anyone has realized there's something legit wrong with Dougie. It's not just oh, that's on a good day. Right?
Yeah. He's thinking, okay, drinking, drugs, medication. Have you taken anything? And then Coop responds, case files. He's taken case files. That's all he's taken.
It's so nice to give him a ride home and bring him back.
He's so nice, I know.
Cops should do this.
I mean, maybe
This is not something that would
the
ever...
point of cops, like the real reason, the real idea that they would like help the citizenship and not.
Yeah, that would be so useful. So yeah, he takes him to Lancelot Court Red Door. We see Sonny Jim reading in bed with his reading light on. The doorbell rings. Janie answers to find Ronaldo and another cop whose name I didn't get. I don't know if it's in the credits or not.
Dougie!
Ma'am, do you know this man?
They say that after she already like said his name. She's like, Dougie, do you know this man? Yeah.
Yes, of course I do. It's my husband, Dougie Jones.
Yeah, and then that's the exchange of he seems a little disoriented.
That's on a good day.
That's on a good day.
That's on a good day. And he does seem more than a little disoriented also. There's a lot of hyperbole, I think. I forgot to mention in the last scene, he was reaching for Ronaldo's badge. He's really interested in the badge.
Mm-hmm. That's my badge, Tanya. He's got this thing for my badge.
He likes...
I like the way he delivers that line. It's
really funny.
So Janie takes him inside, but before they go in, there's an envelope on the porch, a mysterious envelope. There's 2 mysterious envelopes in this episode, so I don't know if it counts as a motif.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to look for motifs.
Parallel or bookends or something. One of those terms. So she first is like, why didn't you just come home? And then she remembers he doesn't have his car.
Where is your car?
Which begs the question, how did Dougie drive a car before? Anyway,
Right.
I don't know. I would be scared to let him drive. And then she says she's going to fix him a sandwich. She says it in that cute way.
Does say strange.
Come on, I'm gonna fix you a sandwich. A sandwich.
I love it. It's her Australian accent. It's kind of poking through, but it is so cute. So we cut to the dining room, and this is where I realized that the color yellow is definitely a motif in this episode. Yellow all over this room. We got yellow plates, we got yellow napkins, we got a yellow lamp, we got the yellow envelope, the case files, arguably, and the telephone. Yellow. They're crunching on sandwiches. I love the sound design.
Yeah, that lettuce seems really appetizing.
Crunchy
Yes,
right.
nice
I
crispy
like the snap
lettuce.
on that lettuce.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect design where it makes it sound appetizing and not annoying. Because like a crunch could definitely be abrasive to your ears. But that one is like from an advertisement where you're like, yes, I need that lettuce. I need to crunch through that lettuce.
Yeah, I'm glad the donuts didn't crunch like that. You wouldn't want a donut that made that kind of crackle.
Oh, I would not. That's a stacked, unboxed donut is what that would be. So she says she wants to take him to see Dr. Ben the next day, which sounds like a chiropractor's name. Doctor first name.
Doctor first name, yeah.
But he's an MD. And then she says, what are these? And then she notices the manila envelope.
And this one.
There's nothing on it. She wants him to finish the sandwich so he can go tuck in Sonny Jim, who's been waiting up for you. And then he says,
Tough for you.
such great sound design throughout, with the padding on the carpet and the crunching of the chips and the sort of swishing of his suit pants because they're like so big.
They're so loose.
It's great. I just hear so many little sounds. It's like ASMR, I guess, if I'm using that term correctly. I'm not sure if I am or not. He passes the stairs. She has to really guide him up there.
Upstairs.
He goes up, passes the door. Again, like you were talking about, Brugos, with everything taking forever. It's like he goes past the door a couple times.
The first step he takes with both feet.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm gonna do that. But then I think he does it normal.
And then
the
he
rest.
does, yeah. He doesn't keep doing that all the
You
way
gotta
up.
do that, huh?
Yep. Ugh. He goes into Sonny Jim's room, which is yellow. And then this is a funny little thing where Sonny has to bid him sit down. Like, he pats the bed once, and Coop walks over and stands there, and then he has to pat the bed again. In between, Coop pats the bed as well. He's like, are we patting the bed? Is that what we're doing here? Then finally he sits down, offers him a chip.
I already brushed my teeth.
This is where we hear the most from Sonny Jim. He, like, never talks more than he talks in this scene, I think. I'm not even sure if I knew he could talk the first time I saw this until this scene, because he's a quiet boy. But when Sonny Jim refuses the chip because he already brushed his teeth. Coop puts it on the blanket.
I know.
There's so much funny stuff happening here.
It just leaves it
So slowly.
It's a lot of toddler moves, right? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just, everything he's doing is kind of reminding me of a toddler.
Well, yeah. We can get into this now. I think that it is very funny. Like,
Yes.
when you watch it enough, it makes you laugh. And I think we're supposed to be reacting like this is very funny.
Yeah.
I think that's like 40% of the reason why the show is the way it is because that is David Lynch's sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then 60%, he's trying to piss us off and making us wait to get to what we thought we were here to see.
I agree he's making us wait. I don't think he's trying to piss anyone off. I don't think he would ever do anything with vindictiveness. I think he's just is like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
I know what you mean. I guess that's not the right way to put it, but I think the word fan service is like, he's not trying to service the fans.
No.
Correct. He's trying to service the story.
Whatever the opposite of fan service is.
It's story
Self-indulgence, really. Well, I mean, that is, I would say that's the opposite.
Right.
But they're both,
Yeah, they are both art. Sonny Jim asks if he can leave his cowboy light on, and will you stay with me until I fall asleep? And Coop says, asleep. And then Sonny Jim turns off his reading light, which is pretty dim, and then he turns on the cowboy light, and it's so bright.
I know. Like, can I go to sleep with this light on?
That's like so real, though, to me.
Yeah.
Children love extremely illuminated rooms at night sometimes.
He also has a lot of cowboy stuff. Not
Yeah,
just
like
lamp.
the lampshade matches the curtains.
Yeah. Does your lampshade match? I don't know what that means. And then he claps once, which is not the way the clapper worked, if everyone remembers the
Supposed
clapper.
to have a double clap for the clapper.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off, the clapper.
So it's not quite the clapper, but it
They
is.
have a knockoff clapper.
It's just called the clap.
They're 99%, okay? They can't get the store brand clapper.
Clap on, clap off.
We can't even afford to see it on TV. We gotta go to the dollar store.
But it works really well.
It does. It works great.
Dad.
At first, Coop is just experimenting, and then I think eventually it does become a little game, which is cute.
Dad.
Yeah,
They're having
for
fun
sure.
together. It's nice. I love their little relationship that is being forged. It's like what Sonny Jim has always wanted from his dad. He's finally getting it. I assume. That's my assumption.
Yeah, no, I get the same feeling.
I did look up when the clapper came out because I was like, was there no such thing as a clapper when Coop was last out in the world? But it was invented in the mid-'80s, so
Yeah.
it was there. But again, you're like, he doesn't know how to pee, so he forgot some stuff.
Right. Did you guys ever have a clapper?
No.
My sister had one. Well, Brogan still has one in her apartment.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my god.
My sister had one on her TV. Like, she attached it to her TV, but then one time we were watching and we laughed at something really hard and it turned it off. So, so we took it off. She might have switched it to lights or something, but it was...
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really funny that happened.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone on TV clapping would have turned it on too, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
She ever watch talk shows? Oprah? Okay, so down in the dining room, Janie curiously picks up the mystery envelope. Back in Sonny Jim's room, they're still doing the clapping game, and then Coop's last clap is interrupted when Janie yells,
Dougie, get down here right now!
You are in trouble,
"Oh,
Dougie.
you're in the doghouse, mister."
You are in the doghouse, mister.
She decided he's not going to put Sonny Jim to bed. It's going to be her after she deals with this. So she's mad about a lot of things. She's mad that he didn't call the bookies to set up a time to pay them back. And about the photograph inside the envelope of Jade and Dougie. And it is definitely Dougie Jones. It's very obvious.
Now we can see why people are like, oh, you changed your hair. And you're like, it's a glow up for Dougie for sure.
Yeah, he's got very different hair.
His hair is like...
He has curly hair, and then he gets the coupe hair when he comes back.
It's like a different shade altogether.
You're right.
It's everything.
Yeah.
That's something that
The hair is really
has to come with coupe. You have to have the hair.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I remember talking about his hair a lot in like season 1, maybe a little season 2.
Yeah.
The various levels of product you would have, and sometimes you get funny
There's
bedhead.
a lot of product in that hair, yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy that took care of his hair, which is part of his appeal. I mean, he's got a lot of appeal, but that was part of it. Not like this mop, this rug on Dougie's
what's
head.
happening with Dougie's hair.
What I wish for JDE is that she could know how wonderful and helpful Jade is.
Yeah.
She's so angry, and it's like, Dougie wouldn't even be sitting here with you if it weren't for Jade. Who knows where he would be right now?
Yeah.
Probably blown up, I guess.
Right.
She was so wonderful, and Coop remembers that.
Jade.
The way he says Jade every time.
Yeah.
So that's her name, is it?
Jade give 2 rides.
I'll bet she did.
Some great delivery from Naomi Watts in
Totally.
this scene.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny when she's like, you admit you know her.
You know her. Look at you two holding each other like that.
There's a photo of them together.
You'd be madder if you didn't admit it, I would think.
You admit you know her.
Her being really angry is kind of a thankless thing to do, like explode and be angry at Dougie, but she's so good at it. It's like really funny and fun to watch. Which
She's like processing.
easily could not be.
Processing in real time.
Right.
Yeah, her like angry shudder breathing. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it is very, I think, helpful that at the end of the scene, she kisses him on the head, like, we'll get through this. She just needed to process all this. It's a lot to process.
It's a lot. I mean, she has a right to be mad. Like, your husband's like hanging out with prostitutes and betting $20,000 on football games. Like,
It's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Even though Jade is the best.
Jade.
I love her too. I love her when she shows him the picture and then she takes it back in front of her and is looking at it. And he kind of leans over a little bit so he'll keep looking at it.
And then look at Jade.
He has a nice feeling about Jade.
Jade.
Like, yeah, I know. He wasn't even there when they boned. Like, he hadn't shown up yet, right? It was Dougie.
Yeah.
She's a nice, pretty lady who gets 2 rides. And then also on the back, there's a note that says, "You're late," but they spelled "you're" wrong.
You're wrong.
Possessive. You're
Maybe he was starting to write, "Your late husband."
So then the phone rings. It's a yellow phone.
Hello.
Janie is so funny when she says,
Maybe it's Jade calling.
Jade.
I love that delivery so much. That's a contender for fish for me there. But then she answers it because she realizes she needs to do everything right now. She's not in any position to take care of anything. She's got a TCB.
Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me.
So she talks to these guys, and I just love the way she logics her way through this. Like, she understands what they're doing. She understands it's extortion, but she's like, extortion is dumb. What are you going to do? Break his legs? How's he going to get the money if his legs are broken?
Right.
Right.
And then she has to set up the time and the place.
I'll talk to you myself. In the park, at the corner of Guinevere and Merlin, by the mall. 12:30 tomorrow.
So the picture of Jade is to let her know that they know where he is so that they can... I can see them trying to blackmail somebody with a picture with Jade.
I think it was
Right.
to get her involved. Like, to get the family involved.
Yeah.
Like, a normal person would be like, oh, this is going to blow up my life. I better pay them back. Or something.
Well, like maybe
Right. Or they're going to tell her about Jade.
Right. Like maybe the intent was that Dougie would be the one to get that. And it's like, bro, better take care of this because we could tell your wife about this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Instead of her finding out right away.
Right.
I'm just finding out about all this right now.
Right. So too late. The blackmail didn't work. I know about it.
Yeah.
So now what? I guess that's what she's saying with, now what? Are you going to break his legs if we
Yeah.
don't pay? Because the blackmail didn't work.
That's true. That's kind of cool. He's like thwarting them at every turn.
Yeah.
So she sets up to meet by the park at the corner of Guinevere and Merlin. Just so much Camelot stuff going on around here.
Right.
Wherever they live, it's got a theme. I assume it's sort of a reference to Coop's White Knight Syndrome. The oft discussed White Knight Syndrome.
I think new developments often have sort of themed names because people just aren't that creative. Or there's no history, you know. You can't name them after the fathers of the town. This town has no founding members.
I don't
Like
really
how-
know that much about the history of Vegas.
You know, like Seattle has like Denny and Mercer, and these are all like our
Oh, yeah.
gentry of Seattle, but
Rich people of Seattle
Rancho
past.
Rosa doesn't have that.
No. That is true. She says she'll be carrying the red purse And Coop says red purse. And she says noon 30, which I think is just so funny. It's like a spy kind of way to talk, or what is that? It's like a hard-boiled
strange
detective.
way to say it. I don't think so. It's funny because then when she says it to Dougie, she says 12:30.
It's the only time she has free, because that was going to be her doctor appointment time.
Yeah.
She's gonna
And
take
she's
him
like,
to
well,
Dr.
then she
Ben.
suggests that time for the drop-off.
Because she does have a job, too. I don't know what it is.
She works at the bank.
Oh, that's right. At the bank. Duh.
What little money they have at the bank.
Yeah, that's right. That's why she's smart with money and loans and
Yeah,
things.
she comes up with what 25% of 20,000 is pretty fast.
You just have to divide by 4.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really terrible at math, and I even could have figured it. Maybe not as fast as Janie, but still, I would get there. She hangs up the phone. What a mess you've made of our lives, Dougie. But then she takes a deep breath and is like, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to move on from this. I love this man. I love that man of mine. She asks great questions about his car, his wallet, his ID.
Where's your car? And your wallet? What happened to your wallet and your identification?
Where is all that stuff?
And if that's work, you better get started right away. The last thing we need is you losing your job, Dougie.
So she gathers up the plates and goes up to say goodnight to Sonny Jim. And then she kisses him and says sweetheart, which is so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Dougie. Yes, sweetheart.
Every time she's like mad, she always pulls it back. All right, any other thoughts about what just happened before we get into the 4 minutes of looking at files? All right. So he pulls the files close and he traces the Lucky 7 logo with his fingers. I think we're supposed to think of a zigzag floor, the way the 7 is in the circle. Black dot, which black dot comes up again. And then we get a stoplight transition, which I think is the first one we've gotten in the return.
Ooh.
And I had never tied it together with the Red Room before. I always was like small town stoplight, but it really seems like you see the stoplight, electrical sounds, and then it immediately cuts to Mike walking around the Red Room with his arm in the air like he's trying to get a signal.
Oh.
Somehow like channeling through the stoplight electricity.
The way the stoplight goes from green to yellow to red is transitioning to the Red Room.
Yeah.
I see.
I didn't even think about the lights. Great observation, baby.
That's what you meant.
I just meant like because it's connected to poles, the old stoplight. But yeah, all of it.
It's cool that they have that transition in here again, because it was almost every episode of Twin Peaks seems like I had one of those.
A lot of them, yeah.
Between locations, it would go to the swinging red light.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's walking around. Finally, he gets a connection, I guess, and appears in front of Dougie's fireplace.
You have to with her.
Then he says the titular line 3 times.
Thursday.
Did you know I had the title line in
Thursday?
And I like the way he's moving his arm, like he's like casting a spell, kind of like undulating it.
He's like pulling him.
Yeah. One day.
It's interesting he's telling him not to die. But I guess later in the episode we learn that
he's in danger of dying.
He actually, there's a hit out on him.
You in danger, girl.
I mean, we already knew there was a hit out
we've
on him, but
known
there's
that.
like, it's ongoing.
Yeah, they didn't get him, so.
It's kind of a new hit, even though same as the old hit. Meet the new hit, same as the old hit.
Right. Plus some people do die in this episode.
Yeah. So then, I don't know if whatever Mike did helps. I assume it does, though. Because suddenly Coop is looking at the papers as if he understands something. And then little lights appear on the files as he goes through them, holds his pencil again like a toddler in his fist, doing the scribbles. And this is 4 minutes. From here, I timed from right when Mike disappears 4 minutes to the end of the scene. But somehow riveting AF, I think. Mostly what he's doing is he's like drawing lines, highlighting anytime Anthony Sinclair, who's Tom Sizemore's character, who said that these claims are legit.
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either. So. And then the officers involved in the investigations, and they're the same officers, Loomis and some other guy, I forget the other name. And it's because, yes, they are all in cahoots. Loomis is the detective that Sinclair gets the poison from later on when it's like plan D to kill Dougie. So yeah, and so something to do with ladders and stairs.
Right.
Do you think that Mike has woken up his detective skills by telling him to wake up, and that's why he's able to detect the fraud
Oh, maybe.
in the files?
Yeah, he's like, I need you to wake up the detective part.
I don't know if Mike is concerned about the fraud. I think he wants Coop's detective skills awake. Or just Coop. He wants Coop back?
Yeah, I thought it was like he just wants Coop to like...
Yeah.
He wants Coop to snap out of it. Like we all do.
Like, right.
But this is part of it. It's a part of a long chain of events.
Right.
Where he doesn't die because of it, in part. Well, because of his magic Coop powers too, but...
Right. Well, it's
detective work's always magic.
It's like the same force that was showing him which slot machines.
Yeah.
Coop was always lucky.
He needed that, but he needed that money to not die, or at least get his legs broken or something.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right. Dougie did make a mess, and Coop is cleaning it up.
What a mess you've made of our lives.
What a mess you've made of our lives, Dougie.
And he's cleaning it up. He's working on it. Takes a long time, but he's getting there.
You can rarely say this about someone, but he really is doing his best because he's pretty limited in his abilities right now. So
very limited faculties.
We're like, what's going against him? He's kind of getting a lot done.
His holding his pencil like a child, a toddler, and he broke the tip and he kept drawing with it. And again, I don't like this. I don't like seeing someone use a pencil with a broken lead in it. We have a bad pencil sharpener will break your lead and you'll try to draw with it. And
yeah.
Frustrating.
I don't like that feeling.
He's a very frustrating character for you.
Exactly.
He's just doing things.
I don't think I'm alone in this. I think Dougie frustrated a lot of people.
I think it's hitting like real specific buttons.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't want to write with a pencil with a broken lead, but it's not hard for me to witness, you know.
Yeah.
No, you would sharpen your pencil and go about your day.
Right. But it's not hard for me to watch him do it. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I know. I do not like it.
You're learning a lot about yourself.
Yeah, the things that cause me anxiety.
Right.
That's really interesting.
Just sew my coat's arms shut if you want to drive me insane.
Okay.
Ooh, fun April Fools next year.
You know how much I love pranks.
I know. That's why I said it.
I'm so glad you don't love pranks.
I would say I'm the opposite of love pranks. I hate them.
Whatever the opposite of love.
Whatever the opposite of love is.
I don't know.
There's not really a word.
Or maybe Germans have a word for it.
Think about love and then think like not that.
Cut to Philadelphia. It is fucking bumping everywhere. I want to know about if this is like movie rain or not, which I think it must be because it was shot in LA. And it never rains in Southern California, as we all know.
Here in LA, a clear, sunny morning again. 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius.
I was wondering how they made it rain so hard.
So hard.
It looks so
like sometimes when it's
uncomfortable.
movie raining, it's like you can see that it's just raining right on the person.
There, yeah.
Everywhere else is fine, but this looked like it was the wettest day in the world.
It really did. It looked so wet. And also, I think it's important that he says it's 34 degrees, which is like the worst temperature it can be and still be raining.
I know.
Yes, I love a night on the town when it's 34 degrees and raining.
Yeah. Only with snowing right now. You feel so much better about it.
It's like so bad. He went out of his way to be like, this is the worst weather. He's talking to Gordon, who's sitting pretty, drinking a fine Bordeaux.
Gordon's living up.
I know.
Thank you, Albert. And let me remind you that this work you are doing tonight is very, very important. And I will be thinking of you as I drink this. Here you go. Thank you, sweetheart. Fine Bordeaux.
Is it the same French lady?
I kind of feel like it is.
From later?
Yeah.
Well, she says, here you go. In English.
Okay.
You hear her say, here you go. And I don't think that lady speaks English at all.
All right, different lady.
Wow.
I mean, he's a ladies' man.
Yeah.
It might be just a waitress, but he's like putting on the charm because that's what he do. That's how Gordon do. So Albert gets out of the car. Again, it takes a long time for him to get out of the car, get the umbrella, get to the curb.
I'm so happy to see Albert, though. I don't have any.
I love him. No, it doesn't bother me at all, but I'm just saying it takes a while.
He died like right after shooting, right?
Yeah.
Sad.
I know.
Yeah.
So it means he was like probably not feeling awesome when he shot this.
It seemed like everyone died right after shooting. There was so
A
many.
lot. I know.
We lost
Everyone was just holding on for the 25 years, and then they're like, all right.
We're out.
What a beautiful gift. Thank you. Thank you to those people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love this line, and I think about it every time it pours rain in Seattle, which is a lot, actually. Fuck Gene Kelly, you motherfucker.
Fuck Gene Kelly, you motherfucker!
I felt that was misplaced anger. I don't think it's Gene Kelly's
It's
fault.
not Gene Kelly's fault.
So I've thought a lot about this line because I love it so much, and I think it was probably like, I don't want to go out in this rain, and Gordon's like, it'll be just like Gene Kelly singing in the rain, like putting a nice spin on it about how it'll be so fun to do this.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of conversations seem to happen before we show up.
Yes.
Which is really fun. I mean, this show has a lot of time to show us stuff that we don't feel like we want to see, and skips things that would actually pay off later if we had seen them.
Yeah, fair. And of course, every scene with Albert and Gordon together is delightful. So.
I can see it's rewarding to like not show us everything and make us sort of imagine what happened.
Yeah. I love doing the legwork.
It's true. That's why this is such a podcastable show.
It really is. And we're one of the top 12 Twin Peaks podcasts.
That's something.
According to some email I got, which probably isn't true, but...
Were they asking for money?
They were like, do you want to be higher on this list? And I was like, nah, probably not.
12 is our sweet spot.
Right. I mean, any higher, we're getting chased by paparazzi. You know, I don't want to do that again. So
no, can't go back. It took you so long to regain your anonymity. Your Amy-nimity. So he arrives at Max Vaughn's bar, which is where Diane drinks. He knows where she drinks. I love that the sign is a little Bang Bang Bar-esque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hand holding a megaphone, and boy, is that megaphone blasting. Which is cool. I don't know, I like it.
Just has the neon sound waves coming out of it.
No, but it's got like little lines too in neon.
Mm-hmm.
So like the art of the megaphone is, this is a loud megaphone.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Is that what you said?
Well, you said the electrical sounds because it's also doing that. It's like also buzzing electrical. Like there's a lot of that. I mean, there always is. Sunny Jim's lamp is really loud, and this is really loud. Editor's note. The megaphone may also be a reference to the ubiquitous directing tool used by David Lynch. It's a long tracking shot of him going through this bar, which is actually an Irish bar, IRL, in LA. He walks through the bar to get to the bar. I swear to God, that makes sense. That's what happens. And we see a white Bob holding a cigarette from behind. We don't know who it is until he says,
Diane.
I thought you meant Bob.
I thought for a second. I'm
like, I missed it.
Bob's always
there was
white.
a white Bob?
I'm like, where? I don't remember the black Bob.
In like a mirror? Like one of those accidental shots somehow they got?
Yeah, I can see how that'd be confusing. Her hair is bobbed.
I see a Bob haircut.
Yes.
And it is not dirty, disgusting. It's clean and beautiful. I remember the first time I saw this, I gasped. I was so happy. I didn't know who Laura Dern was playing. I don't remember if I had an inkling that was Laura Dern from behind, although I should have probably. But I was just like, Diane! Laura Dern is Diane! Oh my God. That was just like such a lovely moment for me in my life.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an awesome piece of this show is that we got a little bit of a loose end tied up with who Diane was, you know, instead of just a voice at the end of a phone recording who was kind of doing Coop's bidding.
Yeah. She was clearly important to Coop. He told her all kinds of stuff, not just work stuff.
Not just, he left
So
nothing
casting
out.
Laura Dern, that maybe is a little fan servicey. So I think
it's back servicey anyway.
yes.
Anytime you cast Laura Dern.
But I mean,
who
he
can be a
loves
bigger fan
Laura
than you?
Dern, right? So.
He loves Laura Dern.
Yeah, he loves
that's
the cast Laura.
And he knows we're being excited to see her, I think.
Yeah. We gotta roll out Diane slow because she is a firecracker. So fashionable. She's got those bangles. There's something about the bangles. I have to track that, but those bangle bracelets. She has always has 2 bangle bracelets on her right hand, and they're different colors in different scenes.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
Which is something I noticed when I...
Not just, you didn't think it's just her style.
Right, she just coordinates with her outfit.
That she likes big, chunky, colorful bracelets.
I mean, maybe it is, but, you know... That's why I'm going to track it, to see if it's just her style or if there's something more
Good to know
happening.
you're on the case.
She's also a sleeper agent.
That's true.
She's a sleeper agent Tulpa.
What?
I'm not me. I'm not me.
I forgot. I forgot.
You forgot about that?
Maybe I stepped through it. I might have fallen asleep the first time when I was watching the Case Files
Oh
when
my
I watched it in
goodness.
2017. But today, of course, I was awake for the whole thing.
Yes, well, then you're
Right.
in for a great surprise.
No, it takes me a couple watches to get all of what's happening in David Lynch. Because he doesn't, do things the way he should do them if he wanted to tell a story that you understood the first time you watched it.
It's definitely not meant to be, accessible.
Yeah. He can make an accessible story. He just didn't want to. It's like, he's doing something abstract, and that's what Twin Peaks is.
Yes, agreed. All right, cut to a lumber yard in Twin Peaks. Is it the Packard sawmill? I don't know. Is there even a Packard sawmill anymore? I don't even know who would
be running it.
Yeah. We never know. But it is definitely some mill. Then we cut to a garage. You can still hear the sawing sound. So this is adjacent to the mill itself. But more crime happening at the mill. It's funny how much crime happens at the sawmill. We see the hood of a black sports car, which is a 2014 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray.
Ooh.
I assume that is Red's car. Red, the man we're about to meet, who doesn't have red hair. Why is he called Red?
Was he tall like a redwood?
I think he is.
That's from Midnight Run. There's a guy named Red.
Oh, yeah?
And Charles Grodin's like, do you dye your hair?
Oh my gosh, I love
Red
it.
because I'm tall like a redwood.
Interesting.
And then on Cheers it was because I read a book once. There's lots of reasons someone can be called
I
Red.
guess so. There was a Reddit theory, and I don't know if it was just that they were being...
Maybe that's it.
For Reddit, yeah.
It's for Reddit.
Well, they said maybe his last name is Herring. Wah, wah.
It's a very clever
last name
nickname.
could be Red, actually.
Ooh, that's true. Anyway, we saw Red once before in the Roadhouse doing a little finger gun toward Shelley, and it seemed like they were flirting because they were flirting. He's been in this town for a couple weeks. He's been busy. A fun side note I thought about this location was that originally it was going to be an outdoor scene, a place called Pigeon Creek Road, which is up near Everett. And the location manager, whose name is Dave Drummond, who's a man that I've worked with. He was a location manager for my short film, Snow Day, Bloody Snow Day. He said it that morning it was just fucking pouring rain.
Fuck Gene Kelly, you motherfucker!
Oh.
So they had to find an indoor location last second. They had to scramble. He found out 7 o'clock in the morning that he had to find an indoor location to shoot by the mid-afternoon. That's such a short amount of time to find a location. So good job, Dave Drummond. You did it. We hear sounds of Richard getting high off screen.
Oh, shit.
Snorting that sparkle.
That is...
Yeah. That's a really good name for a fake drug, I think.
Yeah.
And one of the extras, I love this guy. I had to find out more about
that
him.
guy.
This big,
What did you find out
smiling
about
man.
him?
Well, I found out that his name is Ime Itup, and he is one of the assistant directors on The Return.
Oh.
So he was just filling in, and he's holding a AA-12 military-grade assault rifle replica. It has to be a replica because a civilian would not have this gun. It fires 300 rounds per minute. So it's basically just such overkill for this situation.
For Richard.
Yeah. Exactly. And he just loves what's going on here. He's a fan of sleight of hand. Red, I should mention, is played by Balthazar Getty.
Oh, yeah.
He's keeping it tight, in my opinion. Just a handsome man, I think. And just what a weird way to behave, though, Red. He's very interesting. Every time he moves his arms, there's a sound effect.
It was really funny. And he moves his arms a lot.
He's kind of channeling Nicolas Cage in Wild at Heart a little bit. And then there's a theory that I think holds water that he's not really a stupid magic motherfucker, but Richard is just really high.
Right.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
That stuff kicks.
But he definitely is trying to do at least a little sleight of hand, a little up-close magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's David Blaine.
But it just really works on Richard because he's so high. It's how did he do that? So, conversation about how he wants to start moving drugs down from Canada. Twin Peaks is known for being a great location for that. He's finding out what many other drug dealers have learned over the years. He says, you can pick up the rest at Marianne's. That was my mother's name. I like that name. But we never meet Marianne. And then he says...
Have you ever studied your hand?
Which is, a high thing to say.
It's a very
so
high
that's really
thing,
funny. And then it also reminded me of because he's about to do some up-close magic. When our oldest child was... Gosh, how old was Ferd when you were teaching her up-close magic? Mm-hmm. And she kind of boiled down the whole thing about it by saying, I got no stuff in my hands. So I think about that when I see that scene. Red's got no stuff in his hands. But he does have a dime in his pocket, a funny thing to do a coin toss with. Yeah. It's so
the worst
tiny.
Coin to do it.
Right.
But it makes a really nice sound in the air, as it spins forever.
Who does the sound design on this show? They're really good.
Maybe you've heard, it's a little guy named David Lynch. He gets a little help, but he's definitely, again, final cut. He's like, it's done when I say it's done. He's got a problem with his liver also.
I have a problem with my liver.
What's up with that? Any ideas? Or just something that's hilarious?
It might just be funny. I couldn't really find too much about that. There was like one way out there Reddit theory that he's like wearing a wire, but why?
Why? Yeah.
I don't think so. And then there's the other theory, which is actually kind of a widespread theory that he is Mrs. Tremont's grandson, Pierre, who's doing magic in that one episode with the corn.
Yeah.
Sometimes things can happen just like this.
Do you see cream corn on that plate?
Yes.
I requested no cream corn. Do you see cream corn on that plate?
No.
My grandson is studying magic.
Do you remember Pierre? Mm-hmm. But then, he says he's never been in this town before, so. And he would never lie.
I was like, I can believe Red.
Pierre Red Tremont. What I definitely don't understand is why he says...
Did you ever see the movie The King and I?
Right.
Right, that's... What do you mean
no
by
idea.
that?
Reddit has nothing to say about that?
No, they don't. I can't find anything. I mean, he smooths back his hair with both hands.
Yeah, right.
The King and I...
Well, the
Dude's
King...
bald.
He's bald. Yeah, the themes of The King and I don't think overlap very much with the themes of this show.
Getting to know you?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe that's it. I need to get to know you. He does say that. Okay.
There's one problem. I don't know you yet.
That's what it is.
I don't
Getting
know
to know all about you.
His mind is just working weird because of the sparkle.
Oh, yeah. I don't know you yet. Oh, my gosh. Yep, we worked it out. We cracked it, you guys.
Cracks the code. The King and I.
Editor's note. In Season 2, in the episode Demons, Ben Horn is meeting with Catherine, disguised as Mr. Tajimura, in the lounge of the Great Northern Hotel. Leland is there in his show tunes era and starts singing Getting to Know You. Pete is at the bar. He recognizes it and says, The King and I. Getting to know all about you.
That's right, small time.
I like that he calls him small time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, a kid
and
twice,
kid,
which he hates. It's like his being called chicken when it's Marty McFly.
Oh, yeah, he hates that.
It drives him insane.
I'm gonna be watching you, kid. Got that? Yeah. I got it. Don't call me kid.
He's seething over it.
He really doesn't. That hits a button for him big time.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah, well, he says small time, but then the reason he says kid again, I think, is because Richard's like, don't call me kid.
Right.
He's like, oh, well, and I'm definitely going to call him only kid.
Don't give him that gift.
Don't tell Red what you don't want him to do.
Right.
Just remember this. Kid, I will saw your head open and eat your brains.
He's listening now. He's going to sew all my sleeves shut.
I know. Break all your
Break all my
pencils.
and leave donuts out.
Oh, God. All right. I can think of stuff he could do, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, for you? Yeah, no, you don't want to record that.
No.
You have a history of people trying to antagonize you.
And he also does the Breakfast Club principal two-finger eye point thing. Very gesticulating gentleman.
Yes.
So I always think about that when someone does the eyes. I'm watching you.
You can count on that.
You're mine.
Yeah. You should have done we missed the bully, get the horns.
Yeah. And then, like, double finger guns. He's got, like,
Double finger
2
guns.
shotguns, not just a little handgun. No pun intended.
But then he has to bring one finger down because he wants to say one last thing.
Yeah.
It's too bad that you weren't using just a single finger gun, because then you wouldn't have to do this awkward curling of the middle finger.
Maybe
down.
that's like a motif, is like just not knowing what to do with your hands.
Okay.
Because Coop with the sleeve, and then later Coop with the coffee when he's trying to make fists and he has to pass it back and forth.
That's pretty funny. He's trying to make double fists and he can't put down the coffee.
Yeah. All right.
I do that sometimes when I'm like holding something and I'm like awkwardly doing something else that takes 2 hands and I won't put the thing down.
Yeah.
And then I usually wise up before I make a mess.
That's good. Good. I know what you mean, though. Yeah. I've had similar journeys. So, at the end of the coin toss situation, he says,
This is you.
and it's tails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he flips it over, and it's heads, and he says,
This is me. Heads I win. Tails you lose.
Classic.
and it's true.
You got him, Red.
Richard cannot win in this situation. Richard is so fucked.
Yeah. So, I assume he's selling drugs or something, and the money's going to Red. Red is either going to get his money or Richard's going to be killed.
Yes.
If Red gets his money, Richard's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's heads.
That's heads.
heads.
The
Red
important thing
wins.
about heads is that Red wins.
Yes.
The important thing about tails is Richard
loses.
dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, he's
Because
like,
Red doesn't get his money.
I'm not worried about you at all in this situation.
You're right. You're not worried about you winning.
Yeah.
There's no win
The
scenario.
winning for you is that you
No
don't
win
die.
condition.
But he do die. Not by Red, but
He's going to eat his brain.
he says he's going to saw his head open and eat his brains if you fuck me over. That's pretty harsh. That's quite a threat.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with guns, so it's interesting. He has not pantomimed his saw at all.
Yeah.
Cut to Richard driving very upset and still high, so that's not great.
Yeah, he's mad.
Kid, fuck you, man.
He's got a 1973 Ford F-Series truck, which he stole. From a farmer named Billy, as we'll find out later. And even though what is about to happen is so awful, I still laugh every time he says stupid magic motherfucker. It's just a funny thing to call somebody.
Magic motherfucker.
That is pretty funny.
But before we get to the horrible thing, we cut to the new Fat Trout trailer park. Carl Rod, my
Yay.
boyfriend Carl Rod.
Yeah, wow. She doesn't have a type.
It's like, when it
Good
comes,
actors.
where it comes to men, that's very true. But God, Harry Dean Stanton is the best. Every time I see him, my heart just feels full. Love this guy.
Yeah, Carl's like one of the best characters in Twin Peaks.
Yes,
like
the
in
best
terms
people.
of he's a person wanting to avoid all the darkness of the world.
Yeah. Bad things have happened to him, and he doesn't want to go back there.
Right.
See, I've already gone places. I just want to stay where I am.
Anyway, so he's going into town, and Mickey comes running over because he wants a ride to pick up Linda's mail at the PO. Remember Richard and Linda?
Remember 430 Richard and Linda. 2 hours worth on stone.
I understand.
Did you guys remember that?
No.
No.
That's what the giant says. It's like in the first scene of the whole show.
Oh.
Remember Richard and Linda, 2 birds, 1 stone. It's very unclear what this means even now,
Really?
but it's something to keep an eye on.
All right.
There is a Richard in this episode and Linda, even though we don't see her.
How's Linda? She's doing a lot better. Got the government agencies to finally get one of them electric wheelchairs. Fucking war.
So they're driving. It's a wonder. It does cut away, but the shot of the 2 of them is a static shot on them. A 2-shot in the van as they're driving through North Bend. So it's kind of fun to look through the window and see them making the journey. North Bend's really cool. If you're ever up this way, listeners, you gotta stop in North Bend.
They got a cherry pie there that'll kill you.
So Mickey's like,
You go into town about this time every day, don't you?
Damn near.
How come?
Gets me out of this trailer park.
he asks why. And Carl says,
Not much I got to look forward to at my age, Mickey. Except the hammer slamming down.
Yeah.
what a turn of phrase.
That's a lovely turn of phrase.
Mickey says he's got a lot of tread left, which is a sweet thing to say, and one hopes that's true. And it was kind of true. He hung in there for a little while after this. Harry Dean.
Right. It
Not
didn't
forever,
say in
but-
memory of Harry Dean at the end of the episode.
It just took a few years after.
Yeah. And then they talk about the failings of the government and healthcare, which is just obviously a conversation. Maybe it's not obvious, but it's obvious to my friends here at the table that it is an oft-discussed problem with this country.
So the government's taking care of you, huh?
Not hardly. Took us about 6 months to get this wheelchair for her.
Fucking government.
Ugh, horrible. She was a war vet who had to wait 6 months to get any wheelchair, and then now she's going to get an electric wheelchair, but who knows how long that'll take. Horrible situation. And they talk about smoking because Mickey quit. I like the way Carl's like, quit.
Right.
Want to smoke?
Yeah, but I quit.
Quit?
What? What's that?
I've been smoking for 75 years, every fucking day.
Well, he's been smoking
I've been doing the math on him.
75
years of
That's
smoking.
a lot.
How old is he? 90?
Every fucking day. Maybe he started smoking when he was 4, like Sailor. And
That's true.
Will the Daughter.
People start smoking young in David Lynch movies. 4.
And then he laughs afterwards, which is really funny. He's like,
Yeah, his laugh after he said that is really funny.
Editor's note. According to The Secret History by Mark Frost, Carl graduated from Twin Peaks High School, class of 1958, which means in 2016 he was probably around 76 years old. That means he started smoking when he was 1. Offering people things that they refuse, maybe something there. Sony Jim said no thank you to the chip. It was like, I would, but, like, I would have a chip, but I brush my teeth. I would have a cigarette, but I quit. Then we're at the Double R, and we're seeing new character Miriam Sullivan. What a sweet, delightful, sunny lady.
So when I pass that shop, I say, oh, I wonder if they have a cupcake with my name on it. And when I go in, sure enough, they have it. It's magic. And when I pass by the Double R, I say, I wonder if they have a slice of cherry pie with my name on it. And when I come in, sure enough, you have it. Today you had 2 pieces of pie with my name on it. Each one.
She's gonna have a rough day, though.
She's about to have a terrible fucking day.
Yeah.
But she's a school teacher. She thinks about one of the moms. The kids in her class are so cute.
How is school, Miriam? Oh, the kids this year are so cute.
She loves treats. I can relate. And she's not making very much money as a school teacher. And we got Heidi. Heidi giggling her way through a scene, as she always does. Everything is funny.
Heidi very easily amused.
Yes. Yes. This is maybe the only scene ever between Shelley and Heidi where Shelley's not like ripping on
giving her a hard time about
That's
something.
true. I expected Shelley to be mean, but she wasn't.
Yeah, she's in a good mood.
She just told Miriam what a good pie customer she was.
One of our best.
Well, Miriam, it turns out you're one of our best pie customers ever.
Because Norma makes the best pies.
She sure does.
One of our best pie customers.
Right.
She has other customers, like
pie customers.
maybe a meatloaf customer.
That guy's a good meatloaf customer. That guy's a good soup customer. Yeah, you gotta make up stories about your customers to make your day more interesting, I would assume. Anyway, so she gets 2 coffees, one for one of the moms.
1 decaf for me and 1 regular for one of the moms who loves Double R coffee.
Miriam also has a red purse. I don't know, I just noticed that because Coop said red purse. Red purses are prominently displayed. Then we cut back to Richard, still driving angry. And then he says,
Kid? Show me fucking kid.
And he sure does.
She does, yeah.
Oh my god. Carl finds his red bench to sit on. That red bench is still in the park. You can go visit it and sit on the bench.
In North Bend?
Mm-hmm. He's taking in the breeze, looking up at the trees.
Cup of Good Morning America.
Having a cup of Good Morning America from the Double R.
From the Double R.
That's right. It's the best goddamn coffee you're gonna get anywhere, buddy.
Suddenly his expression changes and he looks a little worried. Like he senses something in the air. What that makes me think of is how he got abducted in the woods as a child. Editor's note. According to The Secret History by Mark Frost, Carl went on a hike near the Pearl Lakes when he was around 7 years old with his classmates, Maggie Colson and Alan Treherne. The 3 of them disappeared. They were found by a young Andrew Packard and his Eagle Scout troop after an intense overnight search. All the missing children thought they had been gone only an hour. And when they came back, they had those little marks on them that also Major Briggs has when he disappears.
Oh.
They were at the Black Lodge or something? Is that
I think they had some terrible lodge interaction. They've suppressed, but they know something happened. So in Fire Walk with Me, that's what he's referring to, and he says...
See, I've already gone places. I just want to stay where I am.
So yeah, something's amiss. But then he's like, oh no, maybe it's fine, because there's a mom and a little boy playing a game of tag, and it's very cute and sweet. So nothing bad can happen now. Ugh. Except that Richard is approaching the intersection, which is the same intersection from Fire Walk with Me, where Mike pulls around. Laura and Leland, same exact place. And everyone's really scared and shaken. Everyone survives that scene, but yeah, same intersection. And also apparently where the boy ends up in the street eventually is the same exterior they use for Kirsten's apartment later. No.
The Kirsten sighting.
Tell me where is Kirsten? That's what passes for a Kirsten sighting around here. Just like kind of a bad spot.
Yeah.
Sure. Electricity. It's got that pole with the 6 on it.
Yeah.
Which was at the Fat Trout and is now here.
And a third place it shows up is outside Carrie Page's place in episode 18.
Oh.
The same exact numbers. So 6, and then the numbers up top are 3, 2, 4, 8, 1, 0. And then with numerology, what you do is you add up numbers until you get a single digit number, and that number is 9, the inverse of 6.
Okay.
I don't know.
69.
I'm sure it's just a 69 joke, probably. Editor's note from numerology.com. 6 is the embodiment of the heart. It is a powerful force of compassion and empathy, and its warm light is a beacon of hope. When a shoulder is needed to lean on, number 6 will be the first to arrive. Number 9 has learned the value and magnitude of its inner wisdom. It is now in a position to awaken others to their own higher self. Number 9 represents suffering and sacrifice, and shows how to handle hardship with grace and understanding, inspiring others to do the same. In regard to something called angel numbers, you might encounter the number 69 when an important phase of your life is concluding. Of course, it's also just a funny number. There's a Reddit user who is very prolific. Their name is Kaleviko, I guess. Kaleviko. And they have a lot of wild theories. They're like major leaps in my opinion, but this was something I thought was a good observation, which is that there are 5 little boys in total in The Return. And they're all about the same age and description. Like they're all 9 years old brunette boys, thereabouts. I don't know exactly how old, but and I'd never thought about that before. Like there's not that many children. There's just little boys.
Was that the whole theory? About the
5 boys? Well, it goes on.
I have a theory about this show. There are 5 boys.
Okay, who are they? There's Sunny Jim.
Sunny Jim.
Drug addict
There's
kid.
Right.
Warden Murphy's son, who in part 12 watches his dad get shot. There's the little boy drugged out mother. There's the boy who shoots his dad's gun into the double R in part 11. And then this boy. Hit and run boy, as he's called in the credits.
Wow.
A lot of bad shit happening to
Bad
these
shit's
little
happening
kids.
to the little boys, traumatizing.
Little traumatic David Lynch surrogates.
Yes. Editor's note. Little boys who all look a bit like Dale Cooper, but have very different fates tied to Judy. He does go on to draw comparisons between the hit and run scene and in part 8, because in part 8 is when the fireman, there's like an alarm that happens, and then that's when he sees the White Sands experiment, and then the creation of Bob. I'll just read what he wrote and see if it makes sense to you. Looking at the hit and run scene closer, it resembled what took place in the otherworldly castle that rested on the top of a cliff in the Purple Sea. Both started with an alarming sound heard by an elderly gentleman, who then went to see a disaster of different scale and scope. Both included a golden entity departing, either to the heavens or towards Earth. The boy was held by his mother before his soul departed, and Senorita Dido gave Laura Orb a kiss before sending it off. I'm not sure that I think that the yellow blob is his soul, though. But we can get there in a second. Well, I guess we're there, because
we're in that scene
you
right
hit the
here,
boy.
so.
I live in fear of this fucking thing happening all the time, because you see people do that. Not very often, but I've definitely seen people drive around at four-way stops because they don't want to wait, and it's so scary. And especially because that guy, like, waves in the cross.
Tells him to go, yeah.
It's just so sad. Ugh, I hate it.
I mean, this is a sensible fear.
Yes.
Car
This
accidents.
is a real thing that can happen.
Like, a lot of people are killed in car accidents.
Right.
Yeah.
People seem to get hit in Seattle all the time walking around
Mhm.
when people are being careless driving. I think phones have made us all worse drivers, and so many people are not paying attention.
Yeah. And I guess bad walkers, too.
A little bit.
I've definitely tried to drive
That's true.
home into my children, like never ever cross the street while looking at your phone.
Right. Definitely see people just walk out in the middle of the road without looking at all to see if a car is
Right.
coming.
Like, even if you have right of way, like, make eye contact.
You gotta make
with people.
eye contact.
Right.
You know, don't
Yeah.
assume that people are stopping.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that's, like, on Halloween, the thing that's actual high risk. Like, there's no
one's
contaminated candy, but I think maybe of the whole year, it's, like, the most car accidents or pedestrian deaths because everybody's walking around in dark clothes at night.
Yeah.
That's, like, the actual risk at Halloween.
I remember hearing about that specifically happening. A kid died this last Halloween here because they got hit trick-or-treating. It's horrible. It's so horrible.
Yeah.
Do you have any car theories that you want to talk about at this point?
Not at this juncture.
Do you?
Do you?
Well, I guess I do. Lynch has a lot of very cool cars in all his stuff. And they're very much a symbol of Americana, especially like the muscle cars from the early 70s, late 60s, which he has. But to have a car accident be such a big point, I mean, I think the darkness and his appreciation for cars, this is vibe, you know, it's always suburbia has a dark underbelly.
Yeah.
Cars are beautiful and dangerous. I think he
Ooh,
likes that
yeah.
kind of stuff, that nothing is just one thing.
Yes.
And, you know, Coop is not just one thing. He's obviously Dougie and Coop.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
I imagine it just was something in his art that he liked to show that things were more complex than you thought they were.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's concerned about car safety because it makes me think of
Everyone
Lost
should
Highway.
be, yeah.
Do you know how many fucking car lengths it takes to stop a car at 35 miles an hour? 6 fucking car lengths! That's 106 fucking feet, mister! If I had to stop suddenly, you would have hit me! I want you to get a fucking driver's manual! I want you to study that motherfucker! And I want you to obey the goddamn rules! 50 fucking thousand people were killed on the highway last year because of fucking assholes like you!
Highway safety comes up a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a very loud car that just drove by.
The straight story.
A straight story. What could be safer than driving a slow-ass tractor?
It's not very safe, actually. It's not roadworthy.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of tractor accidents, too, aren't there?
Yeah, his brakes give out and then downhill and he almost dies.
I think there are statistics about that, too. Tractor deaths. Editor's note. Approximately 130 people die every year from tractors overturning. The actor Jeremy Renner almost died in tractor death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We underestimate the danger in our own driveways.
It's so true. Or small town intersections.
That actor got hit by his own car in his driveway.
Oh, yeah, Anton
Yelchin. I like that guy a lot.
Oh, I know. That's such a fucking tragedy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He got out of his car to open the gate and the car wasn't in parking. Got hit by his own car.
Oh my God. And died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Must've been a
they
big
got
car.
like pinned again. Well, I mean,
It smashed him right in his vitals, basically.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Squished in the vitals.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a problem with his liver.
I think he was 27. So it's like the worst
Yes.
27
He is a
glove.
27.
we've
So
ever-
young.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not even like
I
a
know.
fun way to go.
Not the
out.
best
I
way
know.
to
He
go.
didn't even get to
like-
be all high or anything.
Right.
It was just
No plane accident.
trying to go home. As Richard drives by, he makes eye contact with Miriam, who definitely identifies him, and he identifies her, and this is bad. Bad for her. Very bad. So then the
Yeah.
other thing I wanted to talk about was all of the bystanders. There were like so many
They
people.
do not know what to do.
A fun fact I know about this scene is that David Lynch would not tell them what they were reacting to.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense
Doesn't
because
it?
like
There's a
some of
wide
them
variety.
are not having normal reactions.
Right.
Although this is, it's not a normal thing, so there's not a normal reaction,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah.
The
Just
number
mildly
of,
concerned.
of just silent extras reacting to this is insane.
Right.
Why? Do you have any idea why he decided to do this?
My feeling when I'm watching it is that he just wants you to really like sit with it.
Yeah.
Like this is so sad and a huge tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why he had them all
That makes
react
sense.
in different ways, I don't know. Because I feel like you could be like, a little boy got hit by a car, and everybody like, that's awful. It's like one of the worst things I can think of. But he didn't want them to. I mean, he must have told them it was like some kind of traffic thing, right? Because they're standing in the street looking at something. So they must have been able to at least draw that conclusion of like an accident.
Right. They're not cheering for a car race.
So they were all thinking of different accidents, I guess, maybe. Whatever they thought.
I think you're right. He's not shying away from violence in this episode.
Right. Definitely not. Oh boy.
It's not cartoonish at all.
No, it's really horrific. There's some horrific shit that happens. I mean, he never does cartoonish violence. He does not believe in it, which I really respect. He wants you to be like, there's nothing joyful about this at all.
Yeah, even when it's weird, like in Blue Velvet, the guy whose kind of brain is shot, the man in the yellow coat, and he's like sort of alive, but obviously brain damaged.
Yeah.
Standing around. Like, that's almost funny, but it's not. It's
not. Yeah. That's an interesting thing I realized about Blue Velvet is when you talk about it, it's a lot funnier than it is to watch. Not that it's funny at all. But when you quote like a Frank line or something.
Frank is kind of funny.
Frank is like charming when you think back on him, but he's not at all in the moment.
When you're in the moment, you're like, yikes. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to go on a joyride with this guy at all.
No, you definitely don't.
Hey, you want to go for a ride? No, thanks. No, thanks. What does that mean?
I don't want to go.
Go where?
For a ride.
A ride. Hell, that's a good idea. Okay, let's go.
I don't think it'll be very joyful. So Carl sees all this happen, comes over to comfort this woman in whatever way he can, which is, I don't know, just to put his arm around her shoulder, I guess, and look into her eyes and just let her be devastated with a supporting hand.
Yeah, I want Harry Dean Stanton to do that if I have to.
If you're ever upset about anything, you want Harry Dean Stanton to be there to comfort you,
exactly.
yes. But he sees this yellow blob fly up first, and I was reminded of Garmin Bosia and how that represents pain and sorrow.
Right.
And what could be more painful and sorrowful than what's happening right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the light pole is like a Garmin Bosia magnet.
Yeah.
Or inducer
That's
or something,
how
you know? That's
Logi shit gets around. It's like travels through poles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to whoever's going to yum up all this Garmin Bosia.
Gosh, I think you're right. It's not the kid's soul, it's the pain and suffering of the whole thing, of the whole family.
Yeah.
And it's going to go be yummed right up by those Black Lodge denizens.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who's eating Garmin Bosia these days, but... Besides...
Bob, right?
Mr. C. Well, he's in Mr. C.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how far. Maybe it's traveling all the way back to Mr. C, wherever he is. Or maybe just Judy.
Yeah. Just Judy.
Just Judy. Oh, I love that sitcom. Vegas Day, Mr. Duncan Todd's office. Love Patrick Fischler. He is just so riveting, doing almost nothing. Sitting and staring at his computer. A red square appears.
You don't find him hot, though.
No, I just like him.
Okay, good.
I think he's just a very enjoyable person to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not unhandsome.
You're going to talk yourself into
I
it.
know.
Walk it back. I wouldn't say hot, but I don't mind looking at him.
It's a wood for her. Okay? Pretty obviously.
All right, get talking.
All right, Patrick, give us a call.
Get over here, Patrick. He looks very upset when he sees this red square. My theory is that this is the direct result of that little device in the dish in Buenos Aires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The beeping made this happen.
Okay.
Because it was a result of Lorraine being like, oh, we didn't get him. So he's like, okay, well, then we're going to get you.
A lot is communicated with this red square.
Yeah.
It means kill Lorraine, and also you're responsible for killing Dougie.
I mean, maybe he doesn't even know what's in the envelope. He just pulls the envelope out.
I guess. This red square means...
Grab that envelope.
How many envelopes does he have, do you think?
Yeah.
That's the red square envelope.
Right. I mean, if Lorraine had been successful, would there be an envelope that was like, give Lorraine
You wouldn't need
some
an
money?
envelope if Lorraine was successful. Ideally, you don't need the envelope.
It's just going to sit there forever and it's safe?
I guess.
If he never needs to have Lorraine killed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Mr. C really just prepared so much. It's just been insane how much he's set up.
The bad guys in Twin Peaks are always working extra hard.
They really are. They just love their jobs
Elaborate
so
plans.
much. I did notice that Mr. Todd uses like a handkerchief to pull the envelope out. He's like, I don't want any part of this. Don't even tie this back to me.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Prince.
fair. It's not going to help.
Because
I'm
Ike the Spike
sorry to say,
definitely
but...
does not care about leaving evidence.
Right. Yeah.
I know. That's why this is Plan C.
Right.
I mean, I don't know why they didn't have a better guy for Plan Z, but yeah, he's real sloppy.
It's just cost prohibitive to have too many guys on the payroll.
Right.
You got to go with what I assume is a bargain basement assassin.
He's like, I've already put so much money into this.
he got it done, but he was sloppy. You have to admit.
Yes.
He only got half the job done, though. He doesn't ever get the other half done.
Spoilers.
Did you listen to the intro? And it has a black dot on it, which just makes me think about the Lucky 7 dot parallels. Rancho Rosa Estates police are towing Dougie's car, or what's left of it.
Right.
It's a mess. There's like so much mess. It's really interesting. Like there's a bunch of, it looks like car guts almost, like a pile of just like rubber hoses or something. Like, how did that happen?
Some junk, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of like white residue.
Yeah.
And they find the license plate on the drugged out mother little boy's roof. And she says 119.
119.
Yeah, she's right. They're like right outside. And I did.
Okay, so it's just 911 backwards.
It is, yeah.
That is her code for this police.
Well, I wonder if she was like, I knew this was going to happen.
911 in retrospect. Maybe she's supposed to be in the Black Lodge talking backwards and it didn't.
Yeah, right. I forgot to put her in there.
Right. Forgot to do that. 911.
And on her table, she's got still a lot of the same stuff she had before, like the Jim Beam and the prescription bottles that are unlabeled, and still one pill in one of the bottles. But she also has like some white residue, so it kind of echoes whatever's going on with the car out front. And then one thing I noticed, which I wouldn't have noticed except that I recently studied the phonetic alphabet, is that they do it wrong.
Yeah, they don't even do it a little bit right, yeah.
David, Union, George, Edward, Lincoln, Victor.
Except for Victor. That's right, but the rest of it is not. It should be Delta, Uniform, Golf, Echo, Lima. Lima,
I think, yeah.
But maybe he just can't ever remember the right ones, which is certainly my story. I'm like, B for...
B as in Barbara.
Bojack? Yeah. We don't see the little boy. Hope he's okay. And then there's lots of little yellow evidence flags everywhere.
Yellow!
Then we're at a motel. IRL, it's the Pear Blossom Motel in Pear Blossom, California. Sounds nice. It's supposed to be Vegas, where Ike the Spike is playing a very strange game.
Yeah. I don't know that it's a game. I think he's just like recording his dice rolls.
For some sort of pattern.
Maybe.
Brugos,
for like gambling reasons or something,
but
you know?
I think he's trying to see if he can make himself roll sevens more frequently than would be statistically probable.
Something
so
about
he has to
like
do it
real life
so many times to know if he's actually better at it than just the probability would say.
Yeah. And it's not possible, probably, right? There probably is no way to roll a pair of regular dice that aren't trick dice.
Some people claim they can do it, but I don't believe them. I think that just gamblers.
Right.
Gamblers can convince themselves of a lot of things.
Right.
When you roll it so many times, you're like, 7 came up a lot. It's like because you rolled it 500 times.
Yeah, I mean, he was like filling a whole book with rolls.
He was.
So
he
was
like in
doing
the middle
it
of a notebook.
Scientifically. He was.
Well, he's a real scientist. And he does have a theme song.
Yeah.
A fun thing about his theme song is that it's a song called Good Man by Raphael Sadiq. And a fun thing about Raphael Sadiq is that he was in the group Tony, which just came up yesterday with me and Brugos for some reason.
That's right. Frank wanted to know how we would spell our name if our name was Tony.
Oh. We're like, there are many ways that we know of.
Right.
Thank you for remembering.
Isn't that in Popstar, right? Like, Meadows was the fourth Tony?
Yes.
Right.
Oh my god, that movie is so funny.
I love that movie.
But they mix it up with something called Old School Hip Hop Beat I Am by Blunted Beats. And Blunted Beats is like a company that makes cheaply licensed little ditties. Like, I would probably use them to make a theme song for a podcast, for instance. So, I just thought that was an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
And it makes his theme song. So he gets this envelope. It's Mr. Todd's envelope. He opens it, sees the pictures. There's like just a really nice little shot of Lorraine. How did he get that one? The other one looks like a surveillance photo of Dougie with a Lucky 7 insurance card, but the photo of Lorraine is like...
The headshot of the actress, yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, that's what Mike was talking about that in the last episode about when you see pictures of people in shows, it's their headshot a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah.
And he jams his titular spike into each of their faces. Lucky 7 insurance. Elevator doors open, and my buddy Phil rushes out with his daily stack of coffees. And this time Dougie gets his own coffee. And I did notice there's a tea bag hanging out of one of the cups.
Ooh.
But I couldn't tell what name was written on it. But hopefully Frank living his best life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back on
Loves
the
green
latte.
tea lattes now.
Coop is wearing his fitted black suit once again, so I guess Janie did bring it to the cleaners like she said she would. And then the elevator doors open and close a bunch of times, and Coop's got a little smile on his face, so he is clowning around. Phil says stop clowning around, and it's like, he is clowning around. He's not just being annoying.
Really? I think he's just being annoying.
Dougie, quit clowning around.
Well, I think in the elevator he's clowning around because he's smiling. But then when he goes to the front door and stops, then the elevator doors close on him. Suddenly he's surprised. It's like, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
no longer clowning.
No longer.
Now
clowning.
he's
So what
just-
was the clowning he was doing in the elevator?
He was just letting the doors open and close a bunch.
Well,
and
how's
not
he
getting
making
off.
that happen?
It was
though?
making a
But
ding.
why would they open if he's not doing something?
I don't know. I don't know how he would do it either.
You could hear door closed.
He wasn't
door
moving
open.
his arms.
He wasn't doing
though.
anything. Yeah,
Just-
imagine this
Well, that's
motherfucker.
what I'm saying. Is he really
interesting.
clowning?
Or maybe he's just like, this is really funny.
He's
that
just
this is
in the
happening.
elevator.
Oh, I also noticed that Phil was in front of him, which made me think of Mike's from our last episode. No one's ever going to stand behind Dougie in an elevator ever again. Because he's going to be in the way. So Phil gets off, and again, it takes a long time to bid him to come around the corner, but eventually he does it. They get to, what would you call that? It's a weird little courtyard or something where all the offices are.
Sure.
Crazy. It's an interesting building. There's like a big, bright yellow rock garden or something in the middle.
Yeah, that's true. It must be an outdoor, like, office park kind of deal, but it's pretty nice.
They're on the 7th floor.
Ah, never mind then. You're right. Yeah, they took the elevator. It's a big courtyard for the 7th floor of a building.
Yeah.
It's a weird place. And Bushnell's been waiting for him. He's standing in the door of his office. And he yells Jones 3 times.
Yeah.
Jones! 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 Dougie! In my office. Now!
He does not know his name, Jones.
He doesn't. He knows his name is Dougie.
Right.
And he knows his name is Dougie Jones. But he doesn't know
Just
that
Jones
Jones
now.
is also part of it. He gets called into the office, and then again, Phil to the rescue. Has to put down all the coffees to help sort of usher him into Bushnell's office. And Anthony notices that this is happening. And he's worried.
We get a long shot of Tom Sizemore going through a lot of thoughts.
It's like, what's... Yeah. I do feel like he has some sort of arrangement with Dougie, but obviously he doesn't know about the arrangement.
Right.
Yeah.
So he must be like,
In an earlier
how
episode.
can this be happening? Why is he turning me in when this is like mutually assured destruction or whatever? But...
Yeah, he says something like that. Like, you have to be with me on this. I don't remember it.
Yeah. But he's not with him on that. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Dougie was, but not Coop. And then I also noticed that Anthony has like a really tiny yellow chair in his office, like an elementary school sized chair. Don't know what that's for. Hope he doesn't have kids. That
Just
would be
to get
horrible.
that splash of yellow. I guess.
Right. And then he goes into Bushnell's office, and another 4-minute scene of looking at files. Takes him a while. At first he's like, what are all these scribbles? This is crazy. You're pissing me off.
What the hell are all these childish scribbles? How am I going to make any sense out of this?
And then Coop says, make sense of it.
Make sense of it.
And he's like, oh.
And he does.
Like, all right, I will. So it's pretty cool that works. I'm glad it works. And that's when Coop is staring at the battling bud poster and trying to make the fists. And baby, yeah, you asked me about if that's really him in the poster, and it is his face, but it's actually a composite. So he wasn't a boxer. A young photo of this actor. Really good Photoshop. It looks very real, doesn't it? Great Photoshop. I need to take Photoshop lessons from whoever does the props for this show. And the poster is very yellow, I noticed.
Yellow! It was.
And it has a red border. So I think red is also kind of a thing. It's like red and yellow. 2 red purses, red border, red room.
Mustard and ketchup.
Red the guy.
Yellow Garmonbozia.
Yeah. Ugh, gross. I just thought of Garmonbozia covered in ketchup, and now I want to barf. That sounds disgusting.
You thought of it.
I can gross myself
thank you.
out.
That's disgusting.
All right, I'll make something else for dinner tonight. We're not doing creamed corn with ketchup.
Wow.
Cut to you scraping it in the garbage.
Now you have to go back to the store.
I was pretty relieved when Battle and Bud said, "Thank you for this, Dougie."
Oh, yeah.
And not like, well, I can't make any sense of this.
Right. Yeah, and you're fired. I love that he says, "You've certainly given me a lot to think about."
Yeah.
Like, when you first see the scene, it's really funny when you first watch it and you don't know what's going on, because you're like, yeah, he's going to hate this. And then he's like, thank you.
Right.
Dougie. Thank you.
And then, of course, he says, "I want you to keep this info to yourself."
Which
It's like,
I
no
loved.
problem.
I think Dougie's going to be able to keep it to himself.
Don't worry about it.
I want you to keep this information to yourself. This is disturbing, to say the least. I'll take it from here. It's certainly given me a lot to think about.
And then finally he stands up for a handshake, and Coop is like, "Do you want
Right,
me
I
to
don't
stand
do
like
that.
that also?"
Right.
Dougie, you're an interesting fellow.
That's the truth right there.
He almost gives a little Coop thumbs up when
Yeah.
he's like, so I think that's supposed to be evocative of we're getting closer to Coop.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. And also he does that same thing with Sonny Jim when Sonny Jim gives him the thumbs up and he like turns around in a circle with his thumb.
Right.
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 Nice.
The muscle memory is there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and he always
But
shakes
not
hands with Gordon, too.
See, the handshake I thought maybe would have been just fine to be evocative of Coop, but the spin and the thumbs up is better, actually.
Well, the thing he does with Gordon is they do a firm handshake and then
Right.
a thumbs up at each other.
Right.
Ah, nice. All right, we're at the park. Guinevere and Merlin. Janie waiting with her red purse on the bench. And then 2 very obvious criminals walk through the playground.
You Jones?
Character actors Ronnie Jean Blevins and Jeremy Davies.
Oh,
and their
gosh,
names...
he's been around forever.
Yes, I know.
It was like in that commercial that was on MTV a lot. It's like punk rock.
Oh, I don't
It's
remember
like where
that
he was
one.
originally from. I forget what he was
my
talking
gosh.
about.
We'll
It's
have to
like
find
that guy. Yeah.
Find that clip.
Yes,
He's
definitely.
like such a Gen X famous person.
That's true.
Talk to you about my new Subaru Impreza and explain its relevance to you and me and the car business, okay? Okay. This car is like punk rock. Now, just trust me, this is relevant. Do you remember when rock and roll was really boring and corporate? Well, punk challenged all this and said, hey, excuse me, but here's what's cool about music, remember? Now, Subaru, with this Impreza, is challenging some car thinking here. This car is all about reminding you and me what's great about a car and moving forward and making cars better and less disappointing. Just like punk, except it's cars.
Their names are Tommy and Jimmy.
No, those
Ronnie
are my
Jean Blevins
uncles.
is Tommy. Oh, really?
Yeah.
He took points on a football game. He got greedy, he doubled down. It didn't work out for him. Out 20 grand he was, plus interest. Now that was 3 weeks ago.
Meter's still running. It's up to 52.
They're always like trying to intimidate. And she's like, listen, let me stop you right there.
So let me get this straight. People were playing games. He made a bet where he lost $20,000, but you want him to pay you back $52,000.
Very good. That's correct.
I love how she's at first like, okay, explain this to me. And then they try to patronize her. And then she's like, okay, listen.
Okay, so you get this straight. My husband has a job, he has a wife, he has a child. He does not make enough money to pay back $52,000 for anything. We are not wealthy people. We drive cheap, terrible cars. We are the 99%ers, and we are shit on enough, and we are certainly not going to be shit on by the likes of you.
Her spiel about we are the 99%ers, so amazing. We drive cheap, terrible cars. So true. Her car is a mid-90s Jeep Cherokee.
Wow.
It's so old.
I had a 1989 Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah?
When I moved up to Seattle.
How'd it run?
But not in 2017.
No, it died long before that.
Yeah.
She's done a good job with the maintenance. I did not. That was really why it died.
She had to because she's the 99%. You can't just be buying new cars all the time.
Right.
I guess this was pretty much during those, like, protests, right? Or, well,
Occupy? No.
When was Occupy? That was
Occupy
earlier.
was like 2009.
Okay.
Oh, right, because after that.
So this was 8 years after Occupy, but that's what that was referencing.
Definitely. I mean, who could forget? It's not like things got great for the 99%ers after
No,
that.
that's true. Bernie Sanders is still talking about it, so.
Dougie drives a 2000 Ford Taurus, so again, it's a 17-year-old car. Well, no, actually, the events of this take place in 2016, but still, 16-year-old car that exploded. Very old. Everything
your car?
Janie says is so fucking amazing and funny. I love how, like, they try to interrupt her.
Nevertheless, lady.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Nevertheless, lady.
Right.
She explains to them that at her bank, people would be doing cartwheels to get a 25% interest on any loan.
Yeah, that's very high interest rate.
Yeah, so high. Bookies, they thought they could just get away with anything, but not when they're dealing with her. Because it's her first, last, and only offer. She gives them $25,000 because he borrowed $20,000 2 weeks ago.
Right.
That's
Big
crazy
return.
inflation.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, you want to take Janie E with you when you're buying a new car. She's
Oh my
gonna
God.
negotiate.
Yes. She plays hardball like nobody's business.
And that is what I'm generously going to give to you right now. $25,000. That is my first, last, and only offer.
And I love the way that she rolled up the money.
Right.
I'd love her money ball.
Yeah.
It's like a nice solid wheel.
It's so good. It's very satisfying to look at. Tommy really wants to grab it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
She's like...
Well, I can't blame him.
What kind of world are we living in where people can behave like this, treat other people this way without any compassion or feeling for their suffering? We are living in a dark, dark age, and you are part of the problem.
She has a little more to say before she's going to let them go on their way with the money.
I like it. I think it's important. She's like, how can you treat people like this with no compassion for their situation? I mean, it's very
Oh, I love it.
satisfying.
I'm not going to spoil some of my awards that I'm giving, but
Okay.
this might come back up again.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I do, though, have to say, I mean, I love everything she says, but it's not like people have to bet on football games.
Oh, yeah.
All this is like because Dougie bet $20,000. She's
Definitely.
acting like, oh, you're preying on these helpless people who are
Yeah, it's all
living day to day.
ridiculous,
And
yeah.
it's like, okay, well, you could just like not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But she does pay them back the money plus
She
interest.
does.
So that should be good enough.
Right, that should be good enough.
Respectable casinos make you pay the money up front. They don't let you do it on a loan.
Right.
Right. He didn't go to a casino in this case.
No, he did not. But why not? Go to a casino. They'll take a bet for $20,000 on football.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't give him a loan, probably. That's the
Yeah,
thing. He
so
didn't
he
really
didn't have the money.
Yeah, that was the thing. Not a great gambler, Dougie. Not lucky.
Well,
like
that's when
Coop.
he was, yeah.
Coop kept all the love for himself.
He should do a parlay now.
It's true.
So wait a minute.
Dougie could easily make this money. We already did.
He did,
actually.
yes.
He already did
He's done
this.
it. There's leftover. That is the one thing she's not telling them is actually now they do have enough
Yeah,
money
she could
left
pay
over,
them.
but like they have bills and shit. I'm sure she's already earmarked all the rest of it for stuff.
Now, I suggest you take a good long look at yourselves because I never want to see either of you again.
Tough day. Tough.
Lorraine's office. Rip Lorraine. She has a big old yellow chair in front of her desk.
Yellow!
I just kept noticing it. Once I noticed yellow, couldn't stop.
I think air is a theme in this. Because there was air in her office as well.
All right. I'm trained to notice colors.
Really? Where is your training? We went to noticing color school.
It's like part of the mise en scène. It's filmmaking,
It's
baby.
filmmaking. That's true.
You are supposed to think about the colors of things in your scene.
Editor's note. Just ask Wes Anderson.
What do you think the color is supposed to mean then? Cool.
Haven't worked that out, except the color of Garbosia is yellow.
Yeah, probably just bad news.
It's pain and sorrow everywhere in this
Yeah.
episode. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
She's talking to somebody about how they hoped that maybe because the car blew up, they got Dougie, but they did not get Dougie.
Nope.
They got 3 guys, but nobody was Dougie. And then she hears the scream, and right then Ike the Spike's theme song comes in, so that's it for Lorraine.
Yeah.
Woo! The captions say flesh squishing.
Yeah.
And that is what's happening. Unfortunately, there is a witness. He's already killed one witness. I assume it's because he came running in with the spike
With
just
the
out.
spike, yeah.
He's like the worst at this job. So bad. He's not wearing any gloves. He's like covered in blood by the end. So he's killed that person, and then another person comes wandering in to see what all the screaming is about, and then she's toast. And it really reminds me of that scene in Mulholland Drive.
Yes.
Starring Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
Who's dreaming about this hitman that has to just keep killing people because of all the mistakes he's making.
Right.
And not played for laughs this time.
No, yeah, it's actually kind of funny in Mulholland Drive.
Right, because he's exasperated. And he's like,
Something bit me real bad. And then after all that, he gets his spike bent, which good.
Serves you bright eye.
Yeah, that's what he deserves.
I want nothing but misfortune for you from here on out. And that's what he gets, so good. All right, we're back in Twin Peaks, where Richard is doing a crack-up job cleaning up the grill on this truck. There's electricity crackling in the scene. I don't even know why. It's just like, what is even making it? It's like, it's just there.
This evil residue.
It just followed him.
It's probably yellow.
Yellow electricity?
Yeah.
Lightning bolts. and all
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Like the Chargers logo.
The Chargers logo.
Those are the
I'm
mustaches.
sure that's what she was thinking.
The mustaches.
I always thought it was a mustache. Not always, but there was a time when I
the
thought it
logo
was a
on
mustache.
TV, she's like, what are they, the mustaches?
Because it's always sideways.
The LA mustaches.
And it makes as much sense as a lightning bolt to me for a football team mascot.
I would rather play on the mustaches than the Chargers.
And if everyone in the team had to have a mustache, that'd be cool.
So cool.
It would not.
We're in the Twin Peaks Sheriff Station men's room. Hawk washing his hands, and a coin falls out of his pocket. Coins. Rolls into a stall. He follows it and picks it up. And hey, remember when Margaret said the thing about the heritage?
Something is missing. It has to do with Special Agent Dale Cooper. The way you will find it has something to do with your heritage.
Well, here it comes. It's an Indian head buffalo nickel, a rare copper nickel minted between the years 1913 and 1938. 25 years.
I'll see you again in 25 years.
The reason they stopped making them is because it was really easy to wear away the dates and things on them. So they went back to nickel, I guess? Are they usually made of nickels?
I assume so, yeah. Nickel plated.
It's interesting pennies don't wear away like that. Editor's note. At the time of this recording, I was somewhat misinformed. Buffalo nickels share the same composition as today's nickels, which is 75% copper and 25% nickel. The exception was during World War II, when they needed the copper for other things. The reason the Buffalo nickel was subject to wear was because of the design on the nickel compared to the way it was handled. After 1982, modern pennies are made of 97.5% zinc with 2.5% copper plating. Pre-1982, pennies were 95% copper and 5% zinc. So while he's picking this up, he's like, okay, I gotta pay attention to this, because he's smart and he knows that Margaret knows things. You should pay attention to everything she says.
He's been following this lead the whole time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So he looks around the stall, and that's when he notices the logo of the Nez Perce Manufacturing on the door, the metal door. Then he looks up and sees that the metal is pulled away a little bit. So he comes back with a stepladder and a crowbar and a flashlight and starts digging around in there. And that's when fucking Chad comes in.
With his novel
his book.
and his cup of coffee.
Chad.
Gross, Chad.
What the hell?
He's the ladies' room, Chad.
What the hell are you doing?
You taking a shit and reading your book and drinking coffee at work? Come on, man.
Yeah, he doesn't work much, I don't think. I mean, maybe it's better, because when he does things, it's bad, but ugh, we all hate Chad, everybody. I love how Hawk just barely masks his disdain of this man.
Clear this with the sheriff. Tell him if you don't.
Yeah, you do that, Chad.
They must have a real hard time hiring police in Twin Peaks, because
I would
this
assume.
guy should be fired.
Yeah. It's like, use the ladies, and he's like, did you clear up with the sheriff? I'm gonna tell him. And I just love, yeah, you do that, Chad. I like how anytime anyone
Right.
talks to him, they say Chad.
Right.
He is a Chad. He's such a Chad. And then he pulls 3 of the 4 missing diary pages out of the door, placed there by Leland.
Wait, 3 of the 4?
3 out of the 4. There's
There's
still a 4th missing page. We never find the 4th.
What's on these pages?
Well, one of the things that's on there is the note that Annie says in Laura's dream.
My name is Annie. I've been with Dale and Laura. The good Dale is in the lodge, and he can't leave. Write it in your diary.
That's on one of the pages. A lot of Firewalk With Me references in this episode. They're everywhere. So then we're in the switchboard back room area where Maggie's answering calls, and Frank is telling Jesse and Chad to do their paperwork.
Going out paperwork's no fun, fellas. I know that, but gotta be done.
So I guess maybe Chad didn't take that long of a shit because he's already back at his desk. Or maybe he just decided he'd wait for
go later. Yeah.
wait for Hawk to be done. Yeah.
He doesn't want to go to the
I'm going to
ladies'
go to the ladies' room.
I mean, I'm sure the ladies appreciate it that he's
That's
not,
true. We don't want him in there.
stinking
His
it up.
stinky shit's coming out of Chad.
100%. The worst. Frank is very nicely being like, you guys have to do paperwork. Come on, please. And then Doris comes down the hall.
Surprise, surprise! It's not fixed!
She's upset because her dad's car's still broken.
Don't you dare try to blame my father for that car not running right!
We'll get it looked at again if it'll make you feel better.
Feel better! Feel better! Why? Why are you always against me, Frank?
And that's just there so that Chad can, again, be the worst. As
Right.
Frank gently leads her away to his office.
I sure wouldn't take that kind of shit off her. What?
And then Maggie says what we're all thinking.
You don't know what you're talking about.
And then this is where I felt like this character is here because this is a kind of person that David Lynch hated.
Right.
It's a free world. I can voice my opinion.
Well, you sure can.
Oh, brother.
Her response is perfect.
The it's a free world, people. Nobody nice ever says it's a free world.
They're saying like
In that
free speech
context,
means I get to be an asshole and you can't think I'm an asshole. Basically,
Yeah,
you can't treat me like an asshole after I'm an asshole. That's not what freedom means.
Free world
Chad.
means you can be an asshole and I can tell you you're an asshole. The reason Doris is like this is because their son committed suicide because he had some PTSD for being in the war. So there's a couple war vet references in this episode.
Who else was war vet? Oh, right.
Linda.
Right.
And the government doesn't take care of you. So maybe that was part of it. He came back, he had problems. The government was like, fuck you.
Chad is speaking for the government. Oh, you couldn't handle me.
Exactly. Oh my God.
You couldn't take being a soldier.
And there's like an American flag on his desk too.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
You would, bro.
The commentary is popping off in this scene. Thank you, David. So Maggie just glares at him, goes back to her work, and then Jesse, that's the other guy there, he just, for some reason, wistfully looks off to the right.
He's just daydreaming.
That's why he doesn't get paperwork done. He wants to be a good worker, but he just can't focus. All right, and then we are at the Bang Bang Bar, where Sharon Van Etten and her band are playing the song Tarifa. As always, there are some sort of resonant lyrics. I can't recall anything at all. Slow it was 7. I wish it was 7 all night. Lucky 7. And then send it in the owl. Tell me I'm not a child. There's lots of other lyrics too, but those ones really popped out to me.
Right.
Starring Kyle MacLachlan. Woo! A nice thing that I know about Sharon Van Etten is that one of the members of her band is a trans woman.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I learned that from KEXP when they were playing Sharon Van Etten on, what do they call it?
Trans Day of Visibility.
Trans Day of Visibility. There you go. Thank
Logan
you.
was like, do you see me?
Did you get them a present?
Can you see me?
No. I remember in past they were like, you need to give me a present for her.
No, I was driving carpool the next day, and Logan's like, oh, that was yesterday.
Yeah,
Could
now
you
I can
see me?
ignore you now.
It's the one day of the year that you can see them.
Yeah, now you're invisible.
Oh. Well, we talked a lot about motifs. Scenes taking their time.
Yeah.
Colors red and yellow.
Yellow.
Coins.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Women berating people.
Rightfully.
Again.
Ball busters.
Rightfully.
Always ball
Always with ball busters.
Yeah.
And we haven't even got Diane being a ball buster yet.
Delicious. She could bust my balls anytime.
Now you're talking about it.
The shorter list is who is not
who could not bust your balls.
Right.
Chad.
Ah! Sorry, Chad.
I don't want him anywhere near my balls.
No Chads allowed.
Totally. I'm going to make that sign. Oh, also, photos is information. There's a lot of story behind a photo, right? The photo of Jade and Coop, and then, Dougie. It was Dougie. Yeah. And then the photos of Lori. And
a lot of printed out photos, which we don't see that much anymore, really.
And they just don't even say much about them.
Or pictures, too, because him drawing the little staircase and the ladder, also like the red square, gave him all the information that he needed.
Right. Yeah.
Improbably,
yes. He's like, I know what that means. Yes. I've been trained for this moment.
No follow-up questions.
Yeah, visual cues, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Roadhouse is proud to welcome...
Right. Let's get the ceiling fan out of the way. How about? I mean, is anybody's answer not the little boy getting run over?
Yes, the vehicular child slaughter.
Because that's like a real life... That's a real life ceiling fan for me as well. Right. Mm-hmm. Woo. Lordy. Be careful out there, please, everybody.
Right. Please be careful when you're driving in Seattle.
In the middle of the day, in the crosswalk, at an
Don't drive angry.
Stop.
Don't drive on Sparkle.
Definitely don't drive take on Sparkle and drive. Take a minute. Take a breather.
Just don't be Richard.
Don't be Richard.
Richard, what a Richard that guy is. We got a Chad and we got a Richard.
Yes. All right, now let's do the fish. Fun fish.
There was a fish in the percolator.
There's like a few in this, but I think my favorite is like the picture of Dougie. He looks so funny.
Wait, which picture?
The second one. Okay. Like his hair was
his
like
fluffy hair.
I'm glad he got such a glow up from Coop. Like,
oh my god, I know.
It's very funny, I guess, just because it's Kyle MacLachlan and you're used to seeing
in a weird costume. It's kind of funny to imagine them like stuffing his shirt.
Right. Giving him that hair.
That wig, yeah.
It is fun to think about because it's like he's so known as a matinee idol, right? And they're like, you can schlub up anybody, apparently.
Yeah.
All they need is like a really bad sense of fashion and the inability to use hair product. Do you want to say your fish, baby?
My fish was Nevertheless.
Nevertheless, lady.
But I think it was set up by Naomi Watts going off and being a ballbuster, but his response of Nevertheless tickled me for some reason.
Yeah, that was my second place. The way he said that was really good.
Yeah, it was really well-delivered line. Keep it to yourself was my runner-up. The release of Dougie keeps everything to himself
that's right.
and makes us watch.
I really thought it was going to be the Coop and Sonny Jim scene because when I was watching it the first time to take notes, I really was enjoying like the chip stuff and all that, and it's just really cute. Like I like the relationship between the two of them, but just the way that she said maybe it's Jade calling this last time, I was like, that's it for me. It's so perfect. All right, let's do the LVP, which once again I'm like, should we make a rule because
I don't have Chad.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
great.
I thought maybe more obvious was Richard.
Like, yes, I know.
Richard
Isn't that interesting?
did kill a child.
Yes,
I didn't find that valuable.
That's true. It's not. It's pretty horrible.
So, yeah.
But I mean,
Nevertheless, even though there's horrible murders that happened in this show, I'm still giving it to Chad.
Now I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Like, there's a story about it, right? Things happen because of this.
I understand.
It's part of the story. I know. It's like it's a tough call because, like, I agree with you. Richard sucks, and I hate him.
And Ike, not great.
Oh, Ike also not great. Yeah, there's actually quite a few shitty dudes in this episode. Chad just makes me so annoyed. I just can't even look at him without being filled with disgust. So I don't know. Did you change your mind, baby?
No, I'm still saying Chad.
Yeah, I mean, usually the way this goes is like no one's really wrong when they pick, their LVP.
No, Amy's wrong. I mean, it's 2-1. You lose.
I thought that was a given that you don't tell people their opinions are wrong.
I guess I was just trying to say, like, I'm not arguing against it. I'm just saying why I went the other way.
We should all have to have different opinions.
Yeah,
you gotta go your third place now.
Oh.
You can't do Chad.
Oh, Chad's
and you can't.
taken.
Yeah, and you can't do Richard.
Well, then I would do Ike.
There you go.
Yeah. Each one of those bad men gets scolded.
That's right. We want them to know that we did not like what they did.
Don't approve of it.
Dislike.
Downvote.
Thumbs down.
Would give 0 stars if I could. So I guess 1.
That's true. That guy in the front of the line at the crosswalk should have just gone thumbs down to Richard as he did
Instead of
that.
putting his head in his hands.
Yeah,
Funny way he does.
let Richard know.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, Amy, I gotta say, this is a little side tangent really quick, but I've been employing your thumbs down thing, and it is like, I got to do it to a Tesla that tried to cut us off at a 4-way stop, and they definitely saw it, and it was so satisfying.
Yeah.
I loved it. I may keep that in, because I just want to tell people, like, instead of flipping people off at traffic, giving them a thumbs down is so much more devastating.
Right, because flipping off is just like, oh, an angry lady, you know.
You gotta think about what you did, mister. It's like a Janie E thing. It's Janie E vibes.
Mm-hmm. If you can summon Janie E vibes, you should.
Oh, I'd love to. Speaking of MVP.
I actually have Naomi Watts as my MVP
different.
because I don't think the part is all that easy to be so funny.
Yeah.
A ball-busting woman is not necessarily
kind of
always
shrill,
hilarious.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Doris is not as funny.
Doris, I don't think
She's not, but Naomi Watts is really achieving something with just her over-the-top scenes in this episode in particular. I love it.
Yeah, that's true. It is a very specific way of doing it.
Yeah.
That's acting. That's acting, baby.
I like giving it to the actors or directors.
Yeah.
If I think what they're doing is great.
Yeah.
Rather than any character, particularly for the MVP.
Totally. Because the writing, like, you can see how those lines could be delivered in a less sympathetic
A lot of this show is not satisfying at all.
Yeah.
But her performance really is, I think.
Yeah. Did you have...
I went with Janie E,
Okay.
not Naomi Watts.
Yes.
All right, we'll allow it.
She is played by Naomi Watts.
A technicality.
All right. Well, I also went with Janie E, but if we're doing a new thing where we can't all
can't
say the
do
same
it. Sorry,
thing,
you
I'm
gotta-
going to say Carl Rudd.
Nice. Carl was my runner-up.
Oh,
Just like seeing Carl.
He was there for that lady.
He was. No one
All
else
the
walked
other
up to
people
her.
just
Yeah.
stared and
Everyone
not
else
know
is
what
just
to do.
bystanding.
Just like...
They didn't even know what they were looking at.
Yeah.
As we learned.
That's true. I know. I cannot get enough of tidbits about how David directs. Editor's note. During the production of The Return, a documentarian called Jason S. filmed David directing his actors, as well as some behind-the-scenes moments that have become famous among fans, including a scene where David is directing children, and a moment in which crew are concerned about coverage, and he says,
"Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is?"
These documentaries are collectively known as Impressions, a journey behind the scenes of Twin Peaks. They're available as a bonus feature on the Twin Peaks DVD Blu-ray box set, From Z to A. It's always so interesting anytime you hear any little tidbit.
Tidbit? That's what he called Laura Dern.
That's Laura Dern's nickname. And she's 6 feet tall, so it's such a funny nickname. Imagine him not 6 feet tall.
That's true, and she's 6 feet tall, she was like 14.
Yeah.
So. But she's very endearing, so it must be that she's referring to.
Well, she was young. I think it probably had to do with her age, too. But yeah, who knows? Yeah, obviously, take a liking to her.
All right, well, we did it. Turning lights on and off. Do you have anything you would like to plug? All right, Mr. Brugos. Would you like to plug?
If you sell things on Amazon, then you might need to employ Help Desk.
Is that your word?
Help Desk is my software.
All right.
I build.
It's the software.
I don't talk about it much, obviously.
I knew the name of your company, but it's not the same.
That's true. Workflow Labs is the name of my company.
Yeah.
Help Desk is my product.
All right. That sounds familiar.
I might have mentioned it. I don't talk about work. My work is boring.
Tweet me to a lifelong friend, how is your job, and also what is it? I relate to that so hard.
But also don't tell me about your job. You can say how you're doing, but then don't go into too many details. Help Desk. A lot of people sell stuff on Amazon, and they need a lot of help doing it because they make it really hard.
Oh.
Amazon does.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down, Amazon, my LVP.
You're my
of
fourth
online
LVP.
retail.
Oh, yeah.
Also, could plug the Little Free Pantry. Always good to get
Actually,
donations.
I think most of our listeners aren't anywhere near where we are right now.
But any little free pantry.
That's true.
In your
Any little
area.
free pantry.
Plugging Little Free Pantries if you can afford to help them out.
Yes. That's a great plug, baby. I love that idea. What we do is I go to the store and I get discount groceries, but also sometimes if you have kids, they'll eat one thing out of a box and be like, I don't like this. And then you can put that in the pantry.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're moving out of your house and you've got a lot of extra stuff you don't want to take with you. You can put that in the pantry.
Or if you're on a plane and the flight attendant gave you the pretzels that you weren't going to eat but didn't take them back. It's like,
Throw those in the Little Free
I
Pantry.
definitely put lots of Biscoff in there. Those little Biscoffs.
Oh, Logan loves those.
Oh, yeah. Food waste is one of my LVPs.
Yeah.
For all time.
Completely agree. Because somebody could be eating that food and needs to eat that food. So, yeah. Start a little free pantry in your neighborhood. Someone will...
Your neighbors will love it.
Your neighbors won't love it, but fuck them.
Your neighbors won't love it, but you can wear that as a badge of honor.
It's a heads up, but
Yeah.
know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're making the right enemies if you've pissed off people who don't like a Little Free Pantry.
Right.
I agree. Wonderful. Thank you.
You got anything to plug, baby?
This podcast, and also Amy and I have another podcast called Paid and Puke, where we talk about movies about women with our friend Christina Barr, and we have a motif running throughout. That's the movie Heathers, because that's one of the best movies ever made about women. So listen to that and listen to this podcast some more, please. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode of Really Weird Stuff, please take a minute to give us 5 stars on your preferred podcast app, especially Apple and Spotify. If you did not enjoy this episode, no further action is necessary. Follow us on Instagram at ReallyWeirdStuffPod, on Blue Sky at Really Weird Stuff, on our website ReallyWeirdStuffPod.com, and on YouTube at Really Weird Stuff Pod. Really Weird Stuff, a Twin Peaks podcast, is hosted by Jessica Baxter and Amy Green. Music by Angelo Badalamenti, Julie Cruz, and Jessica Baxter. Produced and edited by Divine Betty Media. Thank you for listening.